Hey guys, this is Marr here, and welcome to the final episode of this Mullins Retro Bit. Over the past courses of past episodes and several months, we've been through 7 different racing games. Been through many different courses, many renditions of Rainbow Road, Bowser's Castle, and so on, dodging sorts of items, red shells, bananas, blue spiny shells. I really hate those! But now we come to the game that started this whole beautiful show, Mario Kart 8. Now, when this game was announced at E3 last year, I was excited, of course, and over the past several months prior to this game's release, I was super excited for it. I couldn't wait to try out the anti-gravity gameplay mechanic, to revisit so many of my favorite courses, just overall just having fun with this game. But how does it fare up to its older brothers? Well, this is the best Mario Kart game since Mario Kart DS. Yes, I am that serious. It may sound like I'm being just a Nintendo fanboy. Oh, who the heck am I kidding? I'm a Nintendo fanboy, for crying out. I mean, just look at my shirt! Now granted, I still prefer Mario Kart 64 and DS over this, but you know, it's still fun. And it could possibly be the game to help boost up Wii U sales, because, let's face it, it hasn't really been selling well or something. I think it's pretty obvious, so let's go on to the game then. Alright? Alright. Yeah.
First off, let's take a look at the controls. With the Wii U gamepad, there are 3 small screens which you can use on the gamepad. There's the off-TV play option, of course, a view of the track layout, and finally the option to use the gamepad's gyroscope feature. Personally, while I love using the gamepad, I don't really like using its gyroscope feature cause, well, it's a bit bulky. So instead I just use the Pro Controller. It's very comfy, the controls feel tight, and it has an extremely good battery life. I mentioned back in my Mario Kart Wii video that I hope that they made some improvements with the Wii while responding, and there's some improvements, so I give it that. I is happy camper. Most of the new drivers joining in are the Koopalings, which you would think were most likely just a copy and paste stats or something like that, but they're all the most fun to drive as. My favorite Koopaling to drive is Lenny, cause, well, I dig his hairstyle. He has cool hair. The other 2 new drivers are Pink Gold Peach, think Metal Mario but only pink and gold, and Peachy. And finally, Baby Rosalina. I don't know if I can be mad considering Rosalina is my favorite female Nintendo character. I'm just baffled that she exists. Kick the baby! Oh, and you get stamps for Miiverse posts when you win races and time trials. That's nice. We also receive a new type of vehicle to drive in the game, ATVs. While not as impressive to use as the bikes, but are a welcome addition to the franchise. Also in Japan, there's a DLC for a kart that's based on the Mercedes-Benz GLA. So far it's only released in Japan, or I think it's gonna be released this summer in Japan, but I hope it comes to us here overseas cause, well, it looks awesome. And that commercial was funny as heck. But now let's talk about the main gimmick in this game, anti-gravity. At first I was a bit skeptical on how it would affect the races, but now it's one of my favorite gimmicks in the Mario Kart series, next to the air gliders of course. However, it's not just there for you to race around on walls, ceilings, and to look pretty. Well, wait, I lied, yeah, that's pretty much the main reason. But if you bump into another racer, or these little cones here, you spin around and receive a speed boost. This little technique is called spin boosting. It's very quick to use and allows for more strategy on the courses. So don't be afraid to bump into another player, just hit him! Hit him! Hit him for the heck of it! Hit him! Hit him! Speaking of quick, I really love how fast the Loquito picks you back onto the race course. It doesn't take too long and it puts you back onto the race faster. It's a really nice little tweak they made. The new items joining in the item roster are also pretty fun to use. The boomerang flower can be thrown 3 times, hitting racers forward and backward. And the best part is that if you miss the player, the boomerang can come back towards you, hitting him, giving it a second chance. It's also the most irritating because you don't know when it's gonna happen. Oh gosh dang it! The Piranha Plant automatically chops items and other races up, as well as giving you short speed boost every time it bites. The Crazy 8 is pretty much the same thing as the Lucky 7 item from the last game, but with it being an 8 instead of a 7, it's one number higher, giving you an extra item, and I got nothing. But the best item by far is the Super Horn. With it, it can shockwave down races, obstacles, and items, which may sound nothing new, but you want to know what the best part of this item is? You listening? Are you listening? Trust me, it's gonna blow your mind. Are you ready? It can destroy those damn blue shells!
And the Lord shall bless the player to use his mighty weapon from the great heavens above to smite down the cursed blue spiny shell and be rid of it, for long as the player shall believe in his word, his awesomeness, his glory, and to which seems due those that seems improbable be probable. Amen. Ah, my thumb.
Now on to the courses, which, oh my, there are so many great courses in this game. The anti-gravity mechanic allows for so many possibilities for great track designs. Running up a waterfall? Can do! Or dive out and dive back into a water? Yes indeed! And the list goes on for what could happen in these tracks. If I had to choose my favorite courses, they would be From Ruins, Sunshine Airport, and Shy Guy Falls, because those Shy Guys are so cute! Just don't let Disney see this game, they'll probably sue their asses for that. And this game has won the best Mario Circus since the DS game. Also, the retro courses are back, but most of them have been completely overhauled. At first, I was worried that they might stray the tracks too far away from the originals, but to be fair, I think it works out fine considering how impressive the newer tracks are. And this even makes some of the more boring tracks better, to say the least. Like say for the track Dry Dry Desert from Mario Kart Double Dash, felt 5 more times more fun to race in than its original counterpart. Also, this game has my top 4 favorite N64 tracks. Racing around these tracks again in glorious 1080p HD was so magical and tender. However, I was hugely disappointed with the track's rendition of the N64's Rainbow Road. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was beautiful, the music was great, it was fun to race on, it got me crying. Hold on, give me a sec. However, you only go around the track one time. I shall repeat that. You go around the N64 Rainbow Road track one time.
What the f***?
It uses the fleece section ideal that was used in tracks like Woohoo Loop and Mount Wario, which I can kind of understand considering this is the longest Mario Kart track ever, but still I wish you could go around the track 3 times like in the original, but maybe that's because of my nostalgia blind getting in the way. One of my favorite parts of this game is the music. Much like Super Mario 3D World's soundtrack, all the music was recorded live using real instruments, including the retro courses. And I have to say, they sound incredible! Trust me, when the music tracks from this game were linked onto YouTube, I listened to them constantly prior to this game's release. It's that good. The only real negative thing I have with this game, aside from the fact that you go around the N64's Rainbow Road track one time, sorry, I'll get over it, just give me a sec, just, gosh, dang it, is that the battle mode was disappointing to say the least. For those of you who haven't heard, all the courses are now just the race courses instead of the separate arenas. Now, while this is still fun cause, well, I love battle mode on Yoshi's Valley, it's insane, however, it would have been nice to battle it out on unique arena courses. Not to mention with the anti-gravity in this game, imagine all the new arena courses they could have come up with. One last thing I should mention about this game is the game's Miiverse interrogation, the Mario Kart television. This allows players to share replay videos and races, which others can watch and comment on. The cool thing about this is that you can even edit out your replay videos. with some different options such as slow-mo, fast forwarding, and even focusing on different drivers and items. And when you're done editing, you can share your video on Miiverse and even upload it onto your YouTube account. Now, I do admit, I wish there was some more options for editing your highlight reel, but for what we got, it's pretty fun to use really.
So with all that in mind, how's Mario Kart 8? Well, despite the battle mode problem, I wish they would have kept the arena courses instead of just using the racetracks. And also the fact that you only go around the N64 Rainbow Road track one single time! Sorry, nostalgia blind, you gotta love that. It's still a great game. The anti-gravity mechanic is really fun to use. The courses are creative and the game looks glorious in 1080p HD. And also the online play is back, and I love the Mario Kart TV feature. I wish there was a few more options you can do for your replays, but what we got is just an amazing game, and I hope that this game does well out on the market and sells a bunch of copies and become a best-selling game or something. I don't know. And so that concludes this Mullins Retrobit, when we went through all the Mario Kart games on the portable systems and the home consoles. I left out the arcade games because I never played them and I don't know anywhere where I'm at that has the arcade games. I hope you are not mad at me at that. But now we come to the last part of this Mullins Retrobit, where I rate the games from greatest to least, which ones were my top favorites and which ones were my bottom favorites. My personal favorite game in the series being Mario Kart 64, then DS, then 8, and then Wii, 7, Double Dash, Super Mario Kart, and finally Mario Kart Super Circuit. Like I said, this is not a bad game at the slightest, but it's just one of those games that I didn't grow up with or didn't have much fun with it, didn't really leave an impact with me like the other games. And no surprise, Mario Kart 64 is my #1 favorite because, well, obvious I grew up with the N64, and also just because this is one of my favorite racing games. And I know some of you are gonna be thinking the game is kind of dated a bit, which I can understand, but I just still love the game for the impact it had at the time, and it's just a great racing game and I love it. And that does it. Thank you guys so much for watching this season of Mullins Retrobits. And if you want to leave suggestions on what the next franchise I should cover on the next season of Mullins Retrobits, then please leave a comment in the comment section below. And also your thoughts on Mario Kart. That's the best thing I like about Retrospective, is that discussions to see how you experienced a certain franchise, how the games impact your life or something like that. So if you have any great Mario Kart memories to share with us, just comment below or just make a little reply video to this. And yeah, that does it for this Mullins Retrobit, I guess. And now I'm gonna make a top 10 favorite Mario Kart tracks list. Except it's gonna be kind of difficult because I love so many tracks. So crap, I'm trying to think. I got all the tracks here listed, so you see, Yoshi's Valley, definitely.